We get fed this idea of love from romance movies and 15-second relationship goals, videos where it's always about the intense, heart pounding spark. You meet someone, the chemistry is wild, and you think you've cracked the code. But that initial high is just biology doing its job, it's the easy part. The real test happens months down the road when the novelty wears off. You're looking at their flaws and you realize you have no idea how to actually sustain a relationship when it stops being effortless. Loving right isn't about finding a perfect person who never annoys you. It's about how you choose to show up when the butterflies disappear and the actual work begins. The biggest mistake people make is treating love like a passive emotion rather than an active choice. We treat it like a lottery ticket. Either you have the feeling or you don't. So the secondary relationship hits a dry spell or a natural lull, guys freak out, assume they've fallen out of love, and go right back to scrolling on dating apps looking for that next quick hit of infatuation. But real lasting love is a verb. It's a decision you make on a random Tuesday morning when you're tired, stressed, and your partner is getting on your last nerve, but you still choose to treat them with patience and respect. If your relationship only functions when things are smooth and exciting, you aren't in love with that person. You're just in love with how they make you feel about yourself. You also have to learn how to have a disagreement without trying to burn the whole house down. Most guys fight to win. They treat an argument like a courtroom trial when they need to prove they are right and their partner is wrong, digging up old mistakes from 6 months ago just to score points. But the moment you win an argument at the expense of your partner's dignity, the relationship loses. Loving right means shifting your mindset from me versus you to us versus the problem. It means lowering your guard, listening to what they're actually saying instead of just waiting for your turn to speak, and being willing to swallow your pride and apologize when you mess up. A lot of relationships fail because people expect their partner to act as a full time therapist, a source of endless entertainment, and a cure for their deep seated insecurities. You look for someone else to fill the empty space in your own life, and when they inevitably fail to do that because they're just a flawed human being, not a savior, you get resentful. You can't expect a relationship to fix a life that you hate living when you're single. Loving right requires you to take responsibility for your own emotional baggage. You need to lock in your own purpose, handle your own mental health, and be a whole person on your own so you can approach a partner out of a genuine desire to share your life with them, not a desperate need for them to validate your existence. Real intimacy is built in the quiet, completely unglamorous moments that nobody posts on social media. It's washing the dishes when the other person is exhausted, picking up their favorite snack on the way home just because you were thinking of them, and holding space for them where they're having a terrible day and need to vent. It's the boring daily consistency that builds deep trust over time. If you're only capable of grand gestures, buying expensive gifts, or planning massive vacations, but you can't manage to be present and attentive during a normal evening on the couch, your relationship is built on sand. Consistency beats intensity every single time. There's also a toxic idea that loving someone means becoming completely codependent, where you merge your entire identity into theirs and drop your hobbies, your friends, and your goals. You think that suffocating someone with attention is proof of how much you care, but it actually just stems from a fear of abandonment. A healthy relationship needs oxygen. Loving right means having the security to let your partner have their own life, their own friends, and their own space to breathe while you maintain yours. You want to build two solid pillars that support the same roof, not two leaning towers that will crash to the ground if one of them shifts an inch. At the end of the day, you get out of the relationship what you're willing to put into it. Stop looking for a flawless partner who is custom built to tolerate your worst habits without complaint. Focus instead on becoming a person who is actually capable of giving love, someone who is reliable, honest, and mature enough to handle the reality of another human being. It's a long process of checking your ego, letting go of selfishness, and learning to grow together through different phases of life. But when you finally stop chasing the Hollywood delusion and start focusing on the actual practice of loving someone well, you realize that the real thing is much better than the fantasy